once again.
Good evening, sir.
We are continuing from yesterday's session. And today, the focus of the discussion is going to be on editing objects, editing system elements, and then editing loadable components. So you look at how to edit architectural elements, how to edit structural elements, how to edit mechanical, electrical, plumbing, interior, and then site element. You take each one of them and then explore all of them. So I'm going to start with the yesterday's project here. And then I'll save it as a different file for today. So I'll go to File, Save As, Project, and I'll call it Project Lesson 6. Save it. But before I start anything, do you have any question or any issues that would need to be addressed for you? Hello? Antoinette?
Sir.
Do you have any issue to be addressed for you?
No, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Sir.
Do you have any issue to be addressed? Dixon?
Yes, please.
Do you have any challenge or issue that you want to be addressed for you?
Not really. Everything is on course.
Mr. Richmond?
Dad.
Do you have any issue to be addressed for you?
Yeah, a little bit, a little one.
Okay, bring it up.
My problem is, what you are teaching this, what you have done, I understand that. But one problem is when you're using the mouse, so let's say you go to architecture, you click on it. Let's say you're looking for wall, you're looking for something. When the thing comes on the screen, I see it small. I'm thinking like you could have zoomed it so that we could know the kind of thing that you are clicking on. But whenever you click on something, we don't see, unless you mention it, but we don't see it clearly. It's like at the back of it, like a long distance.
Okay.
Today, I've gone over about the video, the recording one. I've gone over and over. Some places do where like when you click on something and let's say you're going to click on something else again. We don't see. I don't see it. I don't know whether about the other people see it or something. I don't see it. I see that along something. So sometimes I was thinking like maybe you may, even when you're going to click something, you may zoom into us to see. Let's say you want to go to that place. We don't see it clearly. But if you could have zoomed it or panned it, we could have seen it clearly. That's my view. That's all.
Okay. Noted. I tried using the Zoom magnifier tool the other time. It was a bit of inconvenience, but I'll try and see if I can make good use of it. So let me switch it on in the first place, okay? Magnifier.
But if it will be a problem, then don't worry yourself, please.
Oh, there's no harm in trying. In this life, there's nothing that you set out to do that you cannot do. If you make up your mind that you want to do something, you can easily do it. So let me give it a try and see. Okay? There's this magnifier here. Something like this one.
As you assume it, yes.
Yes.
As you assume, you can see architecture, structures,
Okay.
precast, system, insert, annotation, analysis.
Okay.
I can see everything.
You can
As
see
you
now.
assume it.
Okay.
That one, yes. That's no problem.
Okay. So I'll be using it. I'll be zooming in, and then I'll be zooming out.
Yes, I can see everything over here.
Okay. I
So
think
maybe recording one, when it's on the recording, I'm going over to see what you are clicking on.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. You see, I'm new to this Zoom thing, and we are some of us we are new. So I'm also learning alongside. So as we go along, I'll take steps to improve upon whatever I'm doing, so that it will be at the convenience of everybody. Okay. Experience, they say, makes man perfect. So by the time we get to our 10th video, our 15th video, whereby we'll be doing critical stuff, I hope by the things will be fine for all of us. Okay. Any other issue, please? Yeah.
Sir,
Do you have issues to be addressed?
no, sir, I'm good.
You are good.
Yes, sir.
BC.
Hello, good evening, sir. Sir, I'm good. I just joined, so I'm following.
Do you have any issue to be addressed? Have you been practicing? Do you have any issue that you have faced a challenge?
For now, I'm good.
For now, you are
I'm
good.
Everything's okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Mr. Godwin.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Do you have any issue to be addressed?
Currently, no, I'm still going through the overviews.
Okay. You are having a services background, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, we've not done a lot of services, so you are good. So for now, today we look at some of the building services. So I want you to just pay attention and then take an opportunity to learn some of the architecture aspect also. Because as we move along, we'll be combining all of them, services, structures, everything. So just pay attention.
Okay.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
So the discussion today is on editing elements. Editing. If you want to create any custom objects, which is a requirement for any Revit project, then what it means is that you must be able to edit any object to behave the way you want. If you want to create a brick wall, then you have to take an existing wall, edit it for it to have a behavior and characteristics of a brick wall. If you want to edit any window of any size, then you have to know the family of window you want to work with, so that you can edit the window to behave the way you want. Nothing is fixed and rigid in Revit. Every system element is flexible for you to edit to mimic real world situation. If you want to create a fascia of a certain height and a certain depth, there are tools that you can use to edit it to behave the way you want. If you want to edit a room, you can do that. If you want to edit a sheet, you can do that. If you want to edit a view, you can do that. If you want to edit a schedule, you can do that. If you don't edit anything and then you use it on the fly in a generic purpose, it will not serve the purpose that you want it to serve. So editing stuff in Revit is something you must consciously, you must deliberately, you must intentionally understand. Because anything that you want to do, you must edit it to get what you want. There are two things here we'll be discussing: editing and then modifying. modifying does not change the object. It only gives you an opportunity to displace the object by either moving it, copying it, rotating it, so that the characteristics of the object does not change. But if you want to create a special object that you want to work with, then what it means is that you must be able to edit that object. And the things we use in editing the object, there are two of them. One is this properties palette here, on the left here. So if I zoom in a bit and then go to the left here, you see that there is this properties palette here. Anything that you want to edit, you come in here and then edit them. So you can edit the graphics, you can edit the extent, you can edit identity data, you can edit facing, you can edit view to sheet positioning. So if you go to graphics, changing the scale is editing. Changing the display detail level is editing. Visibility graphics override is editing. Graphic display, or anything you see in this properties palette, it means you are editing something. Now currently, a building section is selected. That is why we are seeing a section here called building section. If I select a roof, for instance, you see that a roof is selected and it will tell you that it is a basic roof. It is a generic roof of width 225 mm. So when you select this roof, you can edit the constraints, you can edit the construction, you can edit the dimensions, you can edit the identity data, you can edit the facing, you can edit the IFC parameters. Please, you cannot decide that as for me, I'm going to learn how to edit some and learn not how to edit some. If you select every object, you must make up your mind that in the medium term to the long term, everything sorry, that has got to do with that object, you must be able to understand how to edit it so that you can edit the object to reflect real world situation. If you cannot edit any object, then you may be compared to say that Revit is rigid, Revit can't do this, Revit can't do that. Anybody who tells you Revit cannot do working drawings, you cannot use Revit to model, you cannot use Revit to do that, what I am telling you is that the person doesn't know how to edit anything. So your ability to edit an object gives you a mastery control over the object to edit it. Somebody will finish bathing, like myself. I will not smear any cream on my body. I will just take some brush my hair, and then away I move. Another person too will finish bathing, take a cream, smear the body, take a powder, take a deodorant, take this, take a makeup, take a lipstick, put on a wig, style the wig, and then edit the face before the person will leave. So when you see the two people, you realize that no, this person has properly taken time to shine his tools and is looking very beautiful. That is how I want to explain it. Anything you want to do with any building component that you understand, then you must know how to edit it. If you are working with a pipe, you must know how to edit the pipe. And when you edit, if you edit the pipe, you can edit it to behave as a PVC pipe. You can edit it to behave as a PPR pipe. You can edit it to behave like a copper pipe. If you take a wall, you can edit a wall for it to behave like a brick wall, like a block wall. You can edit it for it to behave like a concrete mass unit. If you take any object, please, you can edit anything. If you take a section, you can edit it to behave like a building section. You can edit it to behave like a side section. You can edit it to behave like a structural detail section. You can edit it to behave like a wall section. So you must know how you want to do it. I know people who work in Revit and then they'll just take this section line called section, building section. Then they'll use the same building section for wall section, for building section, for detail section, and everything else is building section. But in reality, you can edit this section and get different types of sections. You can edit elevations and get different types of elevations. You can edit levels and get different type of levels. You can edit grade and get different types of what? Grade. You can edit title block and get different types of title block and then use it for anything. So the point of the matter is that your ability to edit something gives you control as to what you want to do with it. Any question? On editing, before I continue. Antoinette,
Sir.
do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, please.
Mr. Dixon,
Yes, sir.
do you understand what the picture I'm painting?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me give you a typical scenario.
All right.
When you, let's take, say, for instance, wall. As soon as I zoom in and I select one wall, the one we edited yesterday, and you go to the properties here, and then the type selector, let me zoom in here. Then you come to the type selector. If you go to the drop down, you see that there are so many walls. Concrete 200 mm, concrete 250 mm, concrete 300 mm, concrete 450, concrete 600, generic 150 mm brick, and so on and so forth. Interior, there are so many walls. You come to curtain wall, not to define curtain wall, M exterior glazing curtain wall, M storefront curtain wall. So these curtain walls, for instance, if you want to use it in your design, it might not reflect the type of curtain wall that you want, which means that you have to be able to take one of the curtain walls and then edit the curtain wall, edit the mullions, edit the infills, edit the boundaries, edit anything so that it can behave the way you want it to behave. If you don't edit an object, that object cannot behave or assume the structure that you want it to behave. So let's take these walls for instance. There are so many walls in the project here, so many of them. None of them I created myself. It came with the software. So which one am I going to use? I don't know the behavior, I don't know the structure. So what I'm going to do is that I am going to delete all these walls from the project because I don't need them. I didn't create them. And if I intend to use them, it is going to create more problems for me. So I'm going to delete everything and then just leave one wall. And then I can take this one wall, edit it, and save it as a new one so that I can create the type of wall that I want and then work with them. If I go to floors, for instance, and I select floors also, there are so many floors that is shipped with the software, as you can see from here. So many floors. The generic 300 mm, generic 250, generic 300 mm fill, steel bar just blah blah blah, wood truss. I don't need them. So I need to take one of them, edit it, and then create the type of floor that what I want. For instance, if I want to create a screed, I can take one of them, edit it, and then call it script, and then it will behave like a script for me. If I want to create a concrete mass unit, I'll take one of them, edit it, and then call it concrete mass unit, and then give it a thickness, then to behave as such. If I wanted to use it as a grass or as a paving, even the paving, if I want to do vehicular pavement or I want to do pedestrian pavement, I'll take one of these, edit it, and then name it as such so that I can use it for that purpose. So editing element is very crucial for you to create whatever you want to create. That's the point I want to make. Now, when you select something that you want to edit, let's say this roof, we have what you call edit type at the upper left corner here. When you click on it, a new dialog box will pop up called type properties. Let me minimize it a bit. Good. We call it type properties. Now, when you come to this type properties dialog box, it will tell you that the category of object that you are editing, it belongs to a particular family, and the family here in this case is called basic roof. And that roof, these are the type of roofs that falls under what? The basic roof. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 types of roofs under them. So I can also create another type for it and then give it what? A name. And advisably, what you do is that you pick one that is close to what you want, and when you select it, then you make a duplicate of it. When you make a duplicate of it, then you give it your own name that you want to use. And then when you give it that name, then you can edit the one. So for instance, let me call this one KDA roof. So which means that I've made a duplicate of it. As soon as I go to OK, you realize that there's a new type called what? KDA roof. And when I take this KDA roof, I can edit it, okay, to behave the way I want it to be. So selecting object, clicking on edit type, and opening this type properties dialog box and editing the construction, the graphics, analytical properties, identity data, IC parameters is going to play a vital role in our work. Any custom object you want to create and work with, there should be the possibility for you to be able to edit it. If you cannot edit the object, then it means you have a challenge. It is not all building elements you work with at any point in time. There are some you work with regularly. There are some you don't work with at all. There are some you're going to work with depending upon the type of project. When it becomes necessary for you to work with any object, then you must know how to edit that object so that when you edit it, you can use it in your project for it to work the way you want it to work. Any question? Any question? Do you have two Antoinettes on the platform?
No question.
One person, and you are appearing twice.
Sir, I'm currently not at the table yet, so I'm watching on my phone while connected on my laptop.
Okay, I understand.
So I'm a 16 person.
Okay. So do you understand the topic I'm discussing? About
Yes,
editing.
I'm good here.
You are good, okay.
Yes.
Who has an issue about editing? I can proceed.
Sir,
Yes, madam.
when the duplicate is made to, for example, an element, like for example a wall, and you make the changes and you use it in this very project, if you open a new project at another time with the same edited element still be available for you, or you have to re-edit it?
No. When you create an element in one project, that element is available in only that project. When you open a new project, that element that you created in project A will not be available in project B unless you transfer that element from project A to project what? Project B. So you can open project A, then you can open project B, and then copy the element from project A, and then paste it in what? Project B, so that that element will be available in project what? B. That is option
Okay,
one.
you. Okay.
And it is not the best option, which means that anytime you work on one project, then it means you need to go and open a project you worked on about 3 weeks ago and then go and look for that element and then copy it and then bring it. No, it doesn't make sense. That is the reason why I've advised you to take a project on your own and then work on it. When you work on it, there are elements that you work with regularly on similar projects. Like for instance, there are standards for walls. Foundation wall, external. Foundation wall, internal. Brick wall, block wall, external. Block wall, internal. Partition wall, plasterboard wall. Some of these things, they are constant, they don't change. So it is advisable to create all these things and then in one project. And when you create them in one project, then you can save them as a template. I repeat, you create all the things you work with regularly and then you save them in a template and save it. So that anytime you start a new project and then you start with that template, all the elements there will be available for you to what? Use and then work with them. So ideally, a good template on your part is an answer to your question. So if you've been using Revit for some time now, then you don't have your own personal templates, then it means it's like you are driving a 6-gear car and you are still in what? First gear. Until you get a working template to work with, it means you have not arrived at the podium in the first place. Does it answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Madam. Any other question?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, please, how do you save the items when you finish editing? How are you going to save it in the template?
We will get there. So we are now starting. Let us know how to edit them in the first place. So that if you know how to edit a wall, you know how to edit a window, you know how to edit a door, you know how to edit a duct, you know how to edit a conduit, you know how to edit a socket, you know how to edit a fascia, you know how to edit a roof, you know how to edit a lighting fixture, then you understand the principles of editing. You know how to edit a schedule, you know how to edit a sheet. When you can do those editing, then you will be prepared and ready to create a template that you can work with. For now, we are now going to learn how to edit in the first place. So let's understand the principle of editing first. And when you begin editing stuff, later on, you will know how to create a template and then work with. At the end of the day, by the time we finish this course, I expect everybody who is partaking in this course to get his or her own personal template. Me that I'm speaking with you, I have my personal templates. When I start a new project, I don't use default metric, I don't use multidiscipline templates, I use my personal template, KDA template, to start my work. And I don't have one template, I have more templates. So depending upon the kind of project I am working on, I know which template to use. So the object is that we are learning the tools that can enable us to create our own what? Template. So that when you start your new project, it is not that you are going to every day you create levels, every day you go double create sheets. No, I don't create sheet again. For me that I'm sitting here, I don't create sheets, I don't create levels, I don't do anything because those things I've addressed all of them permanently. So when I am starting a project with you, I must be very sincere with you. I am about 40% ahead of you if you do not have a template. 40% is, I'm even being generous, I am about 60% ahead of you if you don't have your own personal template. So if you are using Revit and you don't have a template, then it means you are in a deep pit. And it is not only Revit. Any Windows-based software, Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint, Photoshop, Revit, Navisworks, every software, you must be working with what? A template. So if you are the type who is using Microsoft Word to work, and you know that you write a lot of letters, and anytime you are writing a letter, or anytime you want to do a project, then you go to document new, and then start with a blank sheet, and start all over. What that means is that you are using Microsoft Word very, very, very wrongly. And in Revit, if you don't use a template to work, if you don't start a project with your own custom template, you are always behind schedule. You will always be late, and you will always be repeating the same thing over and over again. Anytime you are working in Revit, then you see yourself doing something, then you know, this thing that I'm doing, I've done it before. This thing that I'm doing, I've done it before. Anytime you realize that you are repeating yourself, then it means there is something wrong in your word, in your approach of working. So let's take note of it. If you don't learn anything out of this class that we are doing, put this thing in your head. At least by the time you finish with this class, you should be able to create your own personal template, so that anytime you start a new project, you can start a new project, for instance, with Dixon's template, Antoinette's template, Godwin's template, Richmond Darkon's template, set template, so that your template is going to be unique of your own. It is not going to be similar to anybody's work. And if I see anybody using my template, I should be able to confidently say that this template you are working with is mine. And I must be sincere with you. I will not give my template to you. If you want me to design a template for you, I can design a template for you. I'll charge you good money, then I'll do it for you. Happy? Are we okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes.
So the whole idea is that we should get a good template. Now let's start. How do you go about it? Is anybody asking a question? Any question? We are okay.
I'm good, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Now, before you can edit any object, the first thing you need to be able to do is that you need to be able to select the object in the first place. We call it object selection. If the object is not selected, you cannot edit it. So you must be able to select the object in the first place before you can edit the object. And how do you select objects in Revit? There are different ways that you can select objects. So let's look at selection. For instance, let me go to the ground floor. If you want to select an object, there are different methods. One, we have pick selection. Pick selection. When you talk of pick selection, you hover your mouse over the object and then you pick it by left clicking it. When you left click it, then it means that object is what? Selected. In this case, I clicked on this session line. So this section line is now selected. And because I have selected a section line, I can what? Edit it. If I want to edit this window, I can use pick selection. And when I pick it, I can edit it. So that is pick selection. Then we have window selection. Window selection. You pick a point in the screen, then you drag your mouse down, lower left down. You see, you can drag your mouse like this one. You understand? When you drag the mouse, any object that falls completely within the window will be selected. So when I draw like this one, this way, and I draw all the way like this one, everything in the window will be selected. So that's one way of selection. Then another way you can select it, and we call it reverse window selection. Reverse window selection. You start from the lower left corner and then drag all the way up. You see that it comes as a broken line. When you are dragging, anything that the line crosses and anything that falls completely within the window will also be what? Selected. So if I go this way, you see it's a straight solid line. Anything that falls completely within the window will be selected. If I go in the reverse, anything that the line crosses will be what? Selected. Then we also have select similar. Select similar. So you can click on this wall, right click. When you right click, we have what you call select all instances. Select all instances here. And when you go, you can say select all instances visible in view. When you choose visible in view, then it means that any wall that is similar to the wall that I've selected, that is visible in this view, is going to be what? Selected. So as soon as I click on it, you see that everything will be what? Selected. That is visible in what? In view. It will be selected. You understand? Then we also have, I'll select again, right click, select all instances in entire project. In entire project means that it will select everything inside the whole project, whether it is within the view or not. So if I go in entire project, then it means that it will select all the walls in the foundation, all the walls in first floor, second floor, 8th floor, any view that you have this similar wall there, then it will also be what? Selected. Then we have what you call selection filter. Selection filter. Selection filter. You can select the whole items in a view like this one. When I select it like this, walls are selected, rooms are selected, furniture is selected, plumbing fixtures are selected, cabinetry is selected, everything is selected. Now, when you select things like this one, you can filter them and then choose which object you want to select from the many things you selected by using this filter at the upper left corner here. Let me maximize it. You see that you see the filter here like a funnel here, and you see there's selection here, and then you see the filter here. When you click on this filter, it will show you all the items that you have selected. Casework, 1 item. Doors, 11 doors. Floors, 2 of them. Furniture, 6 of them. Plumbing fixtures, 3 of them. Room tiles, 9 of them. Rooms, 9 of them. Scope box, 1 of them. Walls, 14 of them. Windows, 10 of them. And you see that all of them are checked. All of them are checked. So I can decide to check none. Then the one I want to select, if it is walls that I want to select, then I'll check it. If it is walls and doors I want to select, then I'll check door too. But for now, let me select only walls. So I will check door and then only select what? Walls. And when I go to OK, then all the walls will be what? Selected. That is what you call selection filter. Selection filter. You can apply it in any case. If I want to select all the sections, I can draw a window around it this way, go to filter. Now when I come here, then you see that sections should also be selected. Do I see sections? Yes, it's here called views. So I uncheck all, and then views here, a view is selected. When I go to OK, you see that all the sections are what? Selected. That's what you call selection filter. There are different selection modes. As time goes on, yes, madam.
The selection filter, does it also work in the current view or in the entire project?
It works in the current view. You can, for instance, do this one. Okay, select everything, right click, and then first one you go to select all instances in the entire project.
Sure.
Including legends.
Okay.
So if you select in the entire project, then everything is selected in the entire project. Then when you are done, then you can go to the next step and then go to the word filter. So when you go to the filter, it will show you all the doors in the entire project, all the grids in the entire project, all the scope box in the entire project, all views in the entire project. You see that the numbers are now what? Different. And then you can check none, and then you decide to check which ones you want to what? Select. Then if you go to OK, those items will be what? Selected.
Okay.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
Yes, sir, I'm fine.
Thank you very much. So that is what I've got to do with selection. Now, let me show you another way. When I select everything here also again, the whole thing is selected again. If you go to the properties palette, also, on the properties palette here, you see that it is telling you that multi-category are selected, which is I've selected different what? Objects. Now if you come down here, you see that common 83 items are what? Selected. Do you see it? Do you see that 83 items here are selected? Now,
Yes.
Now when you click on this drop down arrow here, it will also show you, although you select all the items, so it will show you that there is 83 items selected, casework is 1, doors are 11, floors are 2, furniture is 6, scope box 1, views are 6. So if for instance I want to work with say grids, then I'll just click on the word, on the grids. Then only grids will show for me to be able to edit what? The grids that I want to. I can go in and then from the filter here, let me go again. I can go in here, then go to the common here again, and then say maybe I want to select maybe plumbing fixtures. Then I'll click on plumbing fixtures. Then the properties that are here that I will be able to edit, it will only be related to what? Plumbing what? Fixtures. Are you okay?
Yes, sir.
So as time goes on and we are working, I'll be using different selection methods whilst I am working. Then I'll explain as we move on. Now, if you go to the lower left corner here too, lower left corner under the properties palette here, you also see the selection filter also here, like a funnel with 0 here. You see 0 here because no item is what? Selected. Do you get what I mean? But if I go in and then I select everything from here, select everything within the view, although I can see the filter at the top here, if I come to the bottom here also, I'll see another filter here telling me 83 items are what? Selected. And when I click on this filter, it will open the selection filter dialog box for me to see which item I want to select and which items I do not want to select. So if I go to walls, I'll check none and say windows, and I want to select only windows, and I go to OK, then realize that all the windows are what? Selected. So you see that this window is selected, this window is selected, that window is selected. Now, what about if I want to deselect? Selecting is one thing. Then we have deselection. Maybe you don't want to select object and by mistake you selected the object. For instance, I'll come in here, I want to select the room tag. Then I draw a window like this one. Then I select this way. By mistake, it selected the room tag and then the door. You understand? And then this sofa, this chair or sofa. I can use shift. You can press the shift key. Shift key. You see when you press the shift key, you see the minus sign next to the arrow. So if I select that object, it will be deselected. But if I want to also add to the selection, I can use control. If I use control, a plus sign will show. Then I can select that object. So you can use shift to deselect. Then you can use control to add to what? Selection. Any question about selection? So that is about selection. You look at them more as time goes on. Any question? Dr. Franklin.
Hello, my guy.
Are you okay with selection?
Yeah, sure. No
Thank you, sir.
questions.
No question. Pakofi.
Yeah. I'm okay with
Marco,
selection.
Are you okay with selection?
Yes, please. I'm okay with selection.
Thank you. Now, when you can select the object, there are two things that you can do with a selected object. Two major things. Either you modify the object or you edit the object. We discussed modification and editing yesterday, and I'm saying that as for the modification, which are these tools at the up here, when it comes to modify, it's common in every 3D software. Align, move, copy, offset, mirror, rotate, trim, extend, array, scale, split, pin, unpin, delete, and so on. These are the modified tools. They are everyday tools that we are using. So whilst I'll be working around, I'll be using one of the tools one after the other. Take your time and explore them. If you have challenges with any of them, you can raise it up, then I'll help you to address them. But today, the focus is not on modification. The focus is on what? Editing. So let's start with a common element like, say, wall. So I'll take a wall. As soon as I select the wall, let me minimize. As soon as I select the wall, if I want to edit this wall, then it means that I must come to the properties here. And when I come to the properties here, all the items that you see here, location line, base constraint, we call them parameters. That's why we call it parametric modeling. Base offset, base is attached, base extension distance, top constraint. All these items are editing options available to you. Take your time. Any object that you select, go through them one after the other. There are some that are self-explanatory. There are some that you might not understand, but you only understand with time. There are some that are basic. There are some that are advanced. But the object is that make a conscious effort to understand all the parameters that is associated with any object. the better you understand the parameters to edit them, the better you will be a good Revit user. Don't assume that you don't know. Don't assume that it is too many. Yes, it is too many. But as you use them regularly, you become comfortable with them. If you make a conscious effort to learn something new every day, by the time you will be using Revit for about 16 years, like I've done. Yes, 6 years in 2025. Yes, which is I started using Revit in 2009. So at least I have about 16 years experience. So most of the times I'm very comfortable with them because I've been using them over and over again. So you too, as time goes on and you use the Revit continuously, by the time you get to 6 months, by the time you get to 1 year, by the time you get to 2 years, you understand most of the things at your fingertips, like I do know them. It's just a matter of time, you giving yourself time. So you can change everything of the object, the base offset, the base constraints, the top constraints, the cross section, everything. But if I want a different wall, that is not 5 inches wall, that is doesn't have a plaster thickness of 12.5 by 12.5, that means that I must select the wall, go to edit type. As soon as I edit type, a dialog box will pop up here called type properties dialog box. This type properties dialog box presents an opportunity for me to create another wall type that I want to work with. So this time around, I'm going to create a foundation wall, internal one, and I want it to be a 5 inches foundation wall. I can also create a 6 inches foundation wall, internal. With the internal foundation wall, it doesn't need any plastering on it. So it's just a structural wall. So I'll take this wall, make a duplicate copy of it. Okay? Then I'll give it a name. It will be 125 mm, that is 5 inches. Not block wall, but rather foundation wall. But the foundation wall, I'll add an extension called dash internal foundation wall. So that's the name I've given it. Okay, 125 mm foundation wall internal, which means that this wall I'm only going to use it when I'm working on the foundation, and it will be internal. It will not go, I will not use it anywhere apart from the internal one. Then I'll go to OK. And because it is a foundation wall internal, I have options to edit graphics, materials, analytical properties, identity data, IFC parameters. But for now, as beginners, let's forget all these ones for now. We will come back to them. We will start with one of them. I am only interested in the construction now. And even with the construction, I am not interested in the 4 items. I'm only interested in the structure here. So with the structure, I can go to edit. But before I go to edit, there's a preview here. I can preview the wall so I can see it. Let me minimize the distance small. So if I come in here, you see that there's a preview of the wall that I'm seeing. And then there's the construction also here that I can. I can then click on edit to edit the structure of this foundation wall. So I'll go to edit. When I come to the edit, you realize that it is made up of 3 layers. Layer 1, layer 2, layer 3. 1, 2, 3. If I look at it in section here, you see that if I zoom in section, you see that there's layer 1, layer 2, layer 3. And because it is a foundation wall, I don't need 3 layers. I only need 1 layer. So I'll take this layer 1 and then I'll delete it. I'll take this layer, this outer layer here too, and then I'll delete it. So it will be only left with what? Only 1 layer for the wall. And that 1 layer, I can give it a thickness of what? 125 mm. So if you look at it here, we have at the foundation wall here, the family is a basic wall. The type is 125 mm foundation wall internal. Total thickness is 125 mm. There's a resistance, I've not inputted it. Thermal mass, I've not inputted it. I've only given it a thickness. I can assign it material, which we'll do later on. But for now, I'm not going to assign a material. So I only leave it as a foundation wall. When I'm finished, I go to what? Okay. Then go to what? Okay. So what I've done is that this wall that I have created here now is a what? Foundation wall. External. Now, let me copy it here. CO, copy. And bring it down here to the side. So you guys can appreciate it. Let me put it here. So this wall here, anytime I select it, it is a foundation wall 125 mm thickness. And it will only serve that purpose. Yes, sir.
Can you go over that point again?
Yes. What I have done is that I have created a wall type. And the wall type that I have created, I created an internal foundation wall. It's only a block work. There is no plastering on it. So I took that wall, selected the wall, went to edit type, and then came to the properties, the structure here, and then edit. And when I was editing it, there's a layers for the wall. So if you want 3 layers, you can create. If you want 4 layers, you can create. But for now, I only have 1 layer, and that thickness is 125 mm. And I call it a 125 mm foundation wall internal. When I finished, I went okay to save it, and that gave me this wall. Now, I also want to do another foundation wall, CO. So I'll copy this one down. This time around, it's going to be a foundation wall external. So that with that foundation wall, I should be able to plaster one side. So the side that is exposed to the exterior, I want it to be what? Plastered. And then the side that will be exposed to the interior where we do the filling, I don't want it to be what? Plastered. So I need to know the foundation wall. I'm going to still use 5 inches. But the next question I should ask myself is that the plaster that I want to assign to it, what should be the thickness of the what? Of the plaster. You understand? So what thickness should we give for the plastering? Somebody should bring a value.
12.5.
Foundation plastering 12.5 is not advisable, it's too thin. Because it's going to go into the soil.
Please, can you explain that again?
This one has to do with construction.
Yes.
So if you go to construction sites and then you do 5 inches block wall, then you want to plaster the foundation wall, what thickness for the foundation wall is advisable?
So in that case, you're going to add 1 inch to it so that to get the actual 6 inches.
Yes, sir. So in that case, I can do maybe 25 mm plastering for the foundation wall instead of 12.5 mm.
Sure. So
because
it
it is going to be exposed to the environment. If it is an internal wall that will not be exposed to the environment, then I can make it 12.5 mm, ½ inch. But please, this is where your understanding of construction comes in. I am only teaching, and please, I am not teaching construction technology here. My duty is to show you how to create the walls with the layers. So please, if you want to understand the construction aspect of it, go and refer to your construction notes. Don't come and bother me with construction. Happy? Hello?
Yes, please.
Do you get the argument I'm making?
Sure.
So if you understand construction and you know what you are doing, then you can decide, I want to do the plastering of the foundation exterior 12.5 mm. I want to do it 10 mm. I want to do it 25 mm. The discretion is yours. It's not for me to decide. And it also depends upon whether even you are working under somebody. You might be working under a boss. So you might be a young architect working with a senior architect. The senior architect will decide what is supposed to be the plastering. Whatever the senior architect will say is what is fine now. Me, I can't challenge. Do you get what I'm saying? Mr. Ni?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Nidako?
Sir.
You are into construction?
Yes, sir.
When we are doing foundation plastering at the exterior, ideally, what is supposed to be the thickness?
So that one, sir, that one there you can't say it because after laying the blocks, it can be 25 millimeter thickness, or it depends. It can be 25. It can be less than 25. It can be more than 25 millimeters. So that one I can't say because you may, on the drawing maybe say it may be 12.5 millimeters, but on site the plastering maybe the people who are laying the blocks may not be a little bit straight. So you must make you want it to be straight. Some place can be 12.5, can be 25 millimeters. That one there, it depends.
Actor Fire. Actor Franklin.
I said.
Actor Franklin. Dixon.
Yes, please, I'm here.
Dixon.
Yes, sir.
You also do construction?
Sure.
What is supposed to be the plastering for a foundation?
Oh, sometimes as my colleague said, certain things are being determined on site, and when some of them are not laying the blocks very well, you might see this like on the undeleted surfaces. You need to, some place will take more than the 25, or some place will take a little bit less, where there are even surfaces.
This is where I want to come in, and I want to stress on the point I'm coming to make. The reason why we produce architectural drawings or produce working drawings is to tell the artisans on site what they should do. It is up to the person producing the drawings to decide what the plastering thickness should be and specify in it, so that when you go to the site, your duty as a supervisor on the site is to enforce what you have created in the what? In the drawing. So when you are doing a drawing, then you don't specify the plastering thickness. Then what that means is that you are going to give the mason on site the discretionary power to plaster and then give it any thickness. And that is some of the challenges we face with the people who use AutoCAD, for instance, to work. Let me give you a typical scenario. Let me give you a point here. You know that some Ghanaians ordered their furniture from China and they come and install them. You know that. Now, let me draw a wall and show you something. Create similar. Give me a minute. I'll add a wall here. Give me a minute, I'm coming. Coming. Please speak, I'm listening.
Sir,
yes, sir.
You said something right now. You said something right now by saying that you, the architect, or the builder, have to show them, have to tell the artisans or the mason the thickness of the mortar that, for the plastering, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So I can also confidently tell you that even laying of blocks on the drawings, you could say that you want 25 all over. But even starting from the foundation, maybe the concrete that is cast on the ground is not straight. So definitely you may not have 25 all over. So that one there for sure, I'm telling you. On site, sometimes you may get one.
Why do we use level instrument on site?
Understand that one.
Please,
the level instrument and
Nick, why do we use level instruments on site?
And I said, I understand the level instrument and everything will be used. But when we are laying the blocks, to tell you that, let's say laying blocks, you use 25 all over. No. It will reach a place that it will be less 25, it will be more 25. It's the same as the plastering. Some places it will be less 25, it will be more 25.
If you do that, then it means you are not doing a professional work.
That's how it is. Some places to be all right, some places to be all right.
I have had the opportunity of visiting several construction sites. I've built a house before, and I've visited construction sites, like for instance, concert construction sites or testimony construction sites. When you visit a construction site, excuse me to say, please, I'm choosing my words carefully, don't get me wrong. When you work on a construction site supervised by a white man, please, when you work on a construction site supervised by a white man, these standards that we provide in the drawings are strictly enforced. True or false?
150% true.
Why is it that when the project is being supervised by a blackie like me, we renegade on these standards? Why? Why? Let me give you a scenario of the example I'm giving you. Watch, I'm going to give you an example. A problem that I've identified in several offices that I have trained. When we work on a project, let me dimension this one, DI. From here to here, to here, to there. Then let me put these dimensions here. So the wall is 125. This internal one, let me make it, let's say 1, 2. Okay. So the internal dimensions here is 1, 2. Normally, when we produce AutoCAD drawings, we do something like this. True or false? True or false?
True.
True. We do not show in detail the plastering. Then you just dimension from here to here, 1,200. Then a Ghanaian businessman who works in a doom, who has some small money, will go to China and you put a cabinet here, DL, detail line. You will draw a line here and say that this place is a cabinet. The distance from here to here is also, let's say, 483. Let me select it and then round it to a figure. Let's say 450 this way. So this is the drawing that we give to the client, saying that the distance from here to here is 1,002. The distance from here to here is what? 450. Then we give it to the client. And then the wall thickness is what? 125. Forgetting that there's going to be a plastering. And that plastering, we do not add it in the detail. So the client will go to China and then go and order a furniture or a cabinetry by dimension 1,200 by what? 450. And then break it on site. By the time the client comes back, we have done plastering, DL. From here to here, there's a plastering from here to here. There's a plastering from here to here. Then there's a plastering from here to here. And let me assume, say, the plastering is maybe from here to here about 25. The plastering also from here to here is also about what? 25. 25. The plastering from also here to here is also 25. 25. Do you get a picture I'm painting? Do you get a picture I'm painting? So we will do 25 plastering here. We will do 25 plastering here. We will do 25 plastering here. By the time we finish, the actual dimension of the space that the client will, we are supposed to fit the cabinetry will be from inside here, which is from here to here, about 1,175. The distance from here to here is also about 425. Meanwhile, the drawings we gave to the client to send to China to go and manufacture the wardrobe or the cabinet will be 450 by 1,002. So when we bring it, the cabinet can no more fit in the space. I see this problem. Yes, sir.
Sir, in AutoCAD, do you see the place that we write notes? At the right side, at the top of the title block. I learned the right things over there by saying not to scale. So most of the times when they are going to China, after the plastering, before they go, we tell them to call us to measure on the site and give it to them, because on the drawing we have written not to scale. So what about if you follow that one? If you definitely, it will be a problem.
But do you see the picture I'm trying to paint?
But in Revit, as you are showing us now, everything is supposed to be correct.
Thank you.
But in AutoCAD, you can write things, you can measure, you can do the measurement, the scale to measure it. After they change it on the but that's the reason we know only right not to speak. So when you travel, they're able to buy something. They measure it.
That approach is totally wrong. That is why, please, that is why we produce details. One thing I've also observed is that most architects or most architecture firms currently do not even produce detailed drawings. We only produce general arrangement drawings. I bet tomorrow I'll show you some detailed drawings, okay? If I want to dig it, to take me time to show you. I'll show you some detailed drawings done by white men, and then the level of detail that they do on a project. And the only excuse we give it here is that the client will not pay. The money is small, so why should I do the detailing? Meanwhile, it is your own design. The artisan on the site doesn't understand the design you do. It is the detail that you provide them and the supervision that you provide will yield the appropriate resource. So, Revit gives us the opportunity to detail our model very, very well, so that when you want to go and manufacture something and you want it to be 1175 by 425, you can show him this drawing and the person will follow this, and you can bring it and it can equally fit inside. The excuses of I have to go to the side and then do this one, at the end of the day, what will happen is that it is going to lead to a lot of variations. And who pays for those variations? Who pays for those variations? Is it the client or you, the contractor? Do you get a picture I'm painting? Hello?
I'm with you.
Do you get a picture I'm painting? Please,
Yeah.
it is not an excuse. Revit presents us an opportunity to avoid some of these problems in the first place. But let's leave this topic for another day and continue with what we are doing, okay?
Thank you.
You are welcome, sir. So I'll delete the dimensions. I'll delete the line work. Then delete these walls too. Now, with my external wall that I want to do, I want to add plastering on the what? On the outside. So I'll take this wall, go back to edit type. Then I'll make a duplicate. So it is 25 mm foundation wall external. Instead of internal, I'll call it external. External. And because I know that it is supposed to be external wall, I'll go and edit the structure. And with the external wall, this one layer is not enough. I need a layer for the external plastering. So I'll go to insert. And when I insert, I can then give a plastering thickness of what? 20 what? 25. As soon as I give 25, then the overall thickness will be what? 150 what? Mm. And if you look at it, there's a core boundary here. Then there's another core boundary here. What the core boundary means that forms the structural aspect of the wall, this core boundary. So this 25 mm, it doesn't fall within the core. So I'll move it up. And it will fall outside the what? Outside the core. So I'll give it a thickness of 25. Now if I come in here, I can see that, I can see that my foundation wall has 125 mm block work and then 25 mm what? Plastering. And that's for the foundation wall external. When I go to OK, and I go to OK, now I have two types of foundation walls. This one comes with a plastering. This one comes without what? A plastering. So between this wall and then this wall, I should know which one to use for the external and which one to use for the internal. I cannot use this one for internal foundation wall. Neither can I use this one for the external foundation wall. I cannot use this one for all my foundations wall. I cannot use this one for all my foundation wall. At least I need these two type of walls to be able to create my what? My foundation wall. Any question? Arthur Franklin.
Hello, my guy.
Any comments?
On the kitchens.
On the foundation wall?
Revit, no.
Yes.
No, I don't have any comments on that. Maybe at the closing time, I'll make some comments on other things, but on the lessons, no comments.
I hear both.
I'm okay.
So please, the point I'm making is, whenever you are modeling in Revit, be it a wall, be it a floor, be it a column, you must know how to edit them. Now let me go to floors to make a point again. Okay? On a typical construction site, after laying the block work, let's say for our foundation, let me go to 3D. let me go down a bit using the box. Okay, let me come down a bit. Okay, after casting this slab, normally we cast this slab to a thickness of what? 150 what? You understand? So I'll go to edit type. I'm also editing the slab now. And instead of using 300 generic, I'm going to duplicate it for the floor. And I'll call it 150 mass concrete. 150 mass concrete. Then go to OK. When I'm done, I'll go to the construction of it. The same process like the wall. Then edit the structure. So because it is a mass concrete, I'll only need a thickness of what? 150 That's 6 inches thick. Then go to OK. Now my floor is now 6 inches thick, because if I edit it, then I go to the properties, edit the structure. You realize that if you come here, the type is 150 concrete, and then the total thickness is what? 150. Okay, then I go to OK. So that is the thickness of it. Now this exterior one also, the slab I use outside there also, I'll select it. Currently it is 300 generic, so I'll change that one also to 150 mass concrete. Now if I go to the floor plans, then I take one of the sections, let's say this one, and then open it, and then go to the section, change the detail level to medium or fine, and then change, okay, come this way. Now when I come here, watch, there is this floor here, which is 150 thickness. There's also this floor here, which is also what? 150 thickness. So they overlap at this point here. Now there will be the need for me to add a floor finish to the exterior and a floor finish to the interior. You understand? The floor finish for the interior and then the floor finish for the exterior might not be the same. In the interior, I might use porcelain tiles to do the interior. In the exterior, I might use terrazzo to do the exterior. Or I might use normal screed to do the exterior. But currently, in our current workflow, in the way we work with AutoCAD, we only do the floor thickness DI 150, DI 150, docket close. We do not show the finishing. So when we go to the site, we leave it to the discretion of the mason to put any screed thickness of their choice, either for the exterior or for the interior. When we are doing tiling, we leave it to the discretion of the tilers to give them any level of finishing or thickness for the tiling, binding, whatever they want. Now, meanwhile, we have also placed a door inside. And this door too, we make the door to sit on this 150 wall. But by the time we go to the site, we will add the screeding, then we add the tiling. By the time we finish with the screeding and then the tiling, there will be an additional thickness. An additional thickness of, let's say, 150 for the screed, then another, let's say, 12.15 for the tile. So if you come in here, you see that there will be a screed, DI. This one from here to here, let's say 50, I'll update it. This one should say 50. 50. And then the distance between this one and this one to, let's say it's 15 for the tile, including the blinding, 15 here. Now, what happens is that there is an overall thickness on top of the concrete work of about 65 mm here. Meanwhile, the door we placed in it, we made the door height 2,100 so that the head height is 2,1. By the time we finish with the screed and then the finishing, this door must be pushed up from say here to say there. And this detailing, normally we do not produce them in the drawings. And because we do not produce this kind of detailing, when we go to the site, we always get issues to be resolved. And this is a construction detailing issue. And if we are doing design, if we are doing architecture, if we are doing engineering, and we are doing construction, and this kind of petty detailing, we don't do them, then we create problems on our own site. Any comments? Any comments? Nidako.
Sir.
Any comments?
No comment. Whatever I say is true. No comment.
Thank you. Now, I beg of you, because we are learning Revit, and we want to understand the workflow of Revit, let's take time, let's make an opportunity to demonstrate our understanding of design and construction in our model. Because if you are doing a model and the Revit gives you room for you to do all this detailing through the model, then we should take steps and then do this level of detailing. You are a plumber, you are a contractor, you know that you are going to do plumbing. You are going to buy pipes, different pipes. You are going to tap the pipe from the main into the house. You are going to use different valves. You are going to use different bends. You are going to use different equipment, so many things. All those detailings must be shown in your drawing. You cannot use line work to do them and expect the plumber who is coming to your site to come and tell you you need 23, 45 degrees bend. You need 18, 90 degrees, 5 inches pipe. No. Revit presents us an opportunity to model all our pipes ditto. And you can schedule the pipes, schedule your valves, schedule your taps, schedule everything. So that when you give the plumber an opportunity to come and work on your site, you must be in a position to tell the plumber that I need this number of fixtures. I need this number of 4 inches pipes. I need this number and length of 6 inches pipe. It is not for the artisan to come to the site and then decide on those things for you. Take note of that. And because of our mentality and the way we work and execute our works, that is the reason why we are not using Revit the way we are supposed to use it. I started Revit training in the year 2009. And in the year 2014, I had to abandon it because I felt frustrated. I kept on repeating the same thing over and over again. It took me another 11 good years to decide to come back to this project again. So please, if we intend to use Revit, then we must be prepared to do the proper architectural, engineering, and construction model. So that when we produce drawings and we present the drawings, it will look professional. It will look detailed. When you schedule it, everything will be to the last detail, even to the nail. So, for instance, if I want to do the floor finishes, Then I need to take this floor here. So I'll take this floor, I'll select the floor, edit type, duplicate. So if I want to do a screeding, I must create another type of floor called screed. And I want my screeding to be 50 mm. So I'll say 50 mm, not mass concrete, but 50 mm screed, mortar screed. 50 mm mortar screed. Enter. Then go to OK. When I go to OK, I'll go to the structure of the screed, edit. And then instead of having a thickness of 150, I'll give it to 50. Then go to OK. So this one will give me 50 mm. If I go to edit, I'll see that the thickness is 50 mm, mortar screed. The total thickness is what? 50 mm, and it is a screed. Then I go to OK. I can also take the screed and then duplicate it. And I want to do, let's say, let me not even give it a thickness. I'll call it porcelain tile finish. Porcelain tile finish. And with this porcelain tile finish, I need to come to the construction and then do the detail for the porcelain tile. So the porcelain tile, I'll need about 3 layers. One, I'll need a screed of 50 mm. I'll insert another layer. Then this layer, I'll need about 12.5 mm for the blinding or binding agent. Let's say 12.5 mm for the binding agent. 12.5 mm for the binding agent. Then insert another one. Then I need 5 mm for the tile thickness. 5. So when I combine the 50 mm for the screed, the base, the bedding, then the binding of 12.5 mm, and then the tile itself of 5 mm, I get an overall thickness of what? 67.5 mm. Then I go to what? OK. Then I go to OK. Now I can select this one, change it back to 150 mm mass concrete. Then when I go to the floor plan, let's say ground floor, on this terrace level here, on this terrace, I want to use a screed. And that screed will be in this internal space. So I'll go to architecture, go to floor, architectural floor, then go to the properties. What is it? Architectural floor. Architectural floor here. Then go to the properties. I don't want the generic one. I want the 50 mm mortar screed. 50 mm mortar screed. Then I'll select that one. Then I'll come in here and then draw a rectangle from this corner here to this corner here. This is where the screed is supposed to be. And when I finish, I can choose finish to get my screed. For now, I don't want to attach. No. So this is it. I've added the screed. But in this internal space here, I want to add a porcelain tile. So I'll right click, create similar here. And when I choose create similar, I'll go to the properties. I don't want the mortar screed, but I rather want porcelain tile. So I'll scroll and look for porcelain tile finish. And with the porcelain tile finish, I'll come in here, take another rectangle within this space, and then draw from this corner here to that corner here. And when I'm done with this one, I can choose finish. Don't attach for now. Now, when I take this section here to this, and I come to this section, I should see my screed here. And this screed, I'll move it to come and sit on top of this concrete. This porcelain tile here, I also move it to come and sit on top of this also concrete. So if you look at the detail here, you see the concrete. Later when I assign the material, you see the concrete material in section, you see the screed material in section, you see the binding material in section before you see the tile. So if I check the thickness of this whole floor for the exterior here, I'll be getting about 200 mm. That is the mass concrete of 150 plus the screed of what? 50. So this is the screed of 50 and this is the mass concrete of 150. Let me increase the scale small. 1 in 25, just to make a point. So this overall here will give me a thickness of 200. Here will give me the concrete finish of 150 and then the screed of what? 50. If I come to the internal space here, I'll get concrete here 150, screed bedding of 50, then this internal, and then you have the floor finish also here. Let me still increase my scale a bit, excuse me. Let's say 1:5 for here. So if I come in here, I know that from here to here is 150, from here to here is 50, and then from here to here is 12.5, that's approximately 13, and from here to here is 5. So the overall distance from here to here will give me about 218 mm thickness, including the 150 mm concrete mass unit, 50 mm screed, 12.5 or 30 mm binding agent, and then 5 mm tiling. In reality, this is what happens on site. This is what is supposed to be done on site. And if you are the architect, or if you are the architectural technologist, or if you are the person who is working on the drawings, it is your duty to produce these drawings for whoever is working on the site. If you do not produce the drawings, then what that means is that you are going to give the artisan on site the opportunity to do things at his or her own peril. And that is what we've been doing as a country for all this while. And at the end of the day, the kind of drawings we produce and show to the client at the sketch design level is different from the kind of drawings we produce at the working drawing level. And it's also different from the kind of drawings we produce on site. And it is not proper. And please, the reason why I am campaigning and championing this Revit matter is that Revit presents us with an opportunity to solve all these problems. Any question? Are you okay?
Yes, please, you're okay.
Thank you. Any question?
No, no question.
So please, let's learn the tool well. Let us begin to revise our construction notes well. Because if you understand construction and you understand construction detailing, please, I beg of you, Revit gives us room to do a very detailed work. And by the time we finish with this course, these are some of the things I will encourage us to implement in some of the projects that we are doing, so that at least we will stand out from the crowd. Our work will not look ordinary. If I show my work and then compare my work to somebody else, the work totally looks different. Because that is how I've trained my mind, conscientized my mind in producing what? Drawings. Are you okay?
Yes, so a quick question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if I follow you well, for the floor, I see the floor as having 3 or 4 different components.
Yes, sir.
And all these are different floor types.
Yes, sir.
So it's like one floor, another floor, another floor, another floor.
Yes, sir. So this one is the mass concrete. This one is the porcelain finish. This one is the screed finish. So I'm having 3 types now: mass concrete, a screed, and then a porcelain finish.
Yeah. So my question is that, was it not possible, or is it not possible within Revit to just have one floor with this thickness, and then you are able to break it into those components like we did for the wall? So it's just only one single wall, and then we are able to show the floor finish as in the plaster on it. We did not do one wall, and then we put another wall by the side to have the finish on the, I don't know whether I'm following my question.
Yes, I understand you very well, sir.
Yeah, so it's not possible for it that way. We have to do separate walls, because the risk I see in that is, if we are not careful, and then in terms of positioning and the rest, it might not be, it might end up delaying you. So is it possible that maybe with just one floor slab, you're able to edit the components to be able to show or segregate in the various layers that we have it, as though we're doing it separately?
Thank you, sir. Let me come in here and let's get it right. When we are producing architectural drawings, there are different set of drawings that we produce. We produce general arrangement drawings, like floor plans, reflected ceiling plans, sections, elevations, and so on. 2, we also produce details, and then the details include enlarged views, that is enlarged floor plans, enlarged sections, enlarged elevations, and so on and so forth. Then we also produce assembly details. We produce component details. Then we can even go to the extent of producing sub-component details. Now, if I take this drawing for instance, and let me leave it at the general arrangement at 1 in 100. Within this drawing, I can come in here and then do a call out detail of this slab here. So I'll go to view menu, for instance, and then do a call out detail, rectangular call out. Then I'll do a detail just for this area, for the whole slab here, this detail here. Then I can open this detail. When I open this detail gives me a detail of this particular section. I can also come in here and then do another call out here, and then do further detail at this point here, and then show this detail to as a detail of the connection between the floors and then the wall. And then when I open it too, I have this detail. So let me take this one out. So this detail here, I can do it a scale of, let's say 1:25, or let's say even 1:5 as a detail. At this detail level, because I have done a 3D model of the work, and I have modeled everything accurately, when I do this level of detail, I don't come in here and then do any line work or drafting. The only thing that I do is to come in and then do annotation for it. But if I'm supposed to do the same level of detailing in AutoCAD, then what that means is that I must manually come and draw this first detail here. I'll do manual drawing. I'll come in here and then do another manual drawing for here. And the time that you are going to use to do this manual drawing, I will take that time and then do a very good model. I repeat, I'll take that time and then do a very good model. And then when the model is good, any view I create, any section I create, any detail I create, any 3D impression I create, any schedule I create, any legend I create, gives me a true reflection of the model that I have done. without manually doing line work. So what Revit presents for us is that, one, it is going to alter our workflow. It is going to alter the way we work in the past. But at the end of the day, when you follow proper Revit workflow and then model things the way they are supposed to be modeled and assembled on site, it gives you room to do very serious documentation of your project, which you can never ever achieve using AutoCAD line work. Am I clear? Fair.
Yes, I get you. So if I get you or no, so I'm not disputing the fact that you need to model well. So I was just thinking it was easier or it was possible, just like in the case of the plaster, where we didn't, it's just a single wall and we indicated the plaster thickness on it. So in the detail,
as we go on, I'm going to introduce you to some other features of the wall. Let me take this wall for instance. Where's the wall? Excuse me. Give me a minute. Let me take this wall and then edit type. When we go to this edit type dialog box, then edit structure. You see there are other tools here. Modify, merge regions, sweeps, assign layers, split regions, reveals. These are all tools that are available to us to use to work on walls. So what you are telling me is possible, but you must understand how the wall behaves primarily at the fundamental level, okay? So that when you know how it behaves, when you know how it works, then using your discretion and then your experience, you will know which tool to use, when to use, and the kind of combinations you will need to do in order to achieve whatever you want to achieve. But for me currently as a teacher, my duty and my responsibility is to teach you the primary fundamental principles governing the creation of walls. So when you understand the primary fundamental principle governing the creation of walls or ducts or pipes or whatever, then it means that you can go on further and then do something you want to. Let me use pipe to do a demonstration for instance. Excuse me. Go to OK. Let me go to 3D and then pick a pipe. Just a pipe, and then do a demonstration to the point I want to make. I'll draw a pipe, go to system, and then pick a pipe. And when I pick a pipe, I can draw a pipe here. So you can see the pipe. Now with this pipe, let me change the detail level to fine. So you can see it as a complete pipe. This is a pipe, basic pipe. Now, when I take this pipe, I can add an insulation to the pipe. So I can come in here, add insulation to the pipe. And then the insulation that I want to add, I want it to be say fiberglass, or I want it to be PVC jacketed fiberglass. Then I want to give it a thickness of 25 mm. So I'll go to OK. I'll not edit it. Let me keep the default. Then go to OK. As soon as I go to OK, see that this pipe, I've added what? An insulation to the pipe. When I select this pipe also, I can also add what you call lining to the pipe if I want to. Do you understand the picture I'm making? So, depending upon what you want to do with the pipe, you can decide to include either insulation or not to include insulation. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, every element that you are working with, being it a pipe, being it a duct, being it a wall, being it a column, being it a beam, any object that you are working with on a typical construction site, there are so many things that you can add or implement on that particular element depending upon your understanding of that element. And Revit gives us all those tools. It gives us all those implementations that we can apply to any building component. So you, the end user who is using that component, must know how you can combine those things to achieve what you want to achieve. So me, my duty now is that I'll tell you, you can do this with a floor, you can do this with a wall, you can do this with a ceiling, you can do this with a roof, you can do this with a fascia. When you understand that principle in concept, then at your own discretion, with your experience as a senior architect, you can then decide that, let me either add this, remove that, let me combine this and that to achieve that. But for now, I am only teaching you things based upon first principles.
Sure, I'm okay, thanks.
Thank you, boss. Any question? Any further question? Nidako.
Sir.
Do you get a picture I'm painting?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Please, it is not going to happen overnight. Let's take note of that one. But I want us to prepare our mind, okay? And know that these are the possibilities. Because Revit has so many tools available to us that we can use to detail our model the best way we can before we go to the site. We can do general arrangement drawings neat. We can do detailed drawings neat. We can do schedules. We can do legends. And we can document our project to the latter so that nobody will have the opportunity or the audacity to question the documentations that you produce out of a drawing. That's the whole idea. We spent 1 hour 52 minutes. We have about 8 minutes more. So let's work with pipes and then close for today. Okay? Are you okay? If I select this pipe, for instance, it's called a standard pipe. We can have chilled water pipe. We can have a PVC pipe. So let me change it to a PVC pipe. And let me also copy this one again to the right. So there are 2 of them. I'll take this one too and then change it to, select this one and then change this one to standard pipe. Standard. And this one here is a PVC. Now, let me take this PVC pipe, create similar, and then just add a bend from here at 90 degrees. You see, it added a fitting reminiscent of a PVC pipe. For now, let me take the insulation off. Remove the insulation. Yes. So I can see the pipe here, then another pipe here with a bend of a PVC pipe. Let me take the standard one. Create similar. Then start from here and then that one to 90 degrees. This gives me a standard pipe. Now if I orbit it, I'll select this bend, then look at it from this side. Oh, my pipes, I think one is on top of the other or something. Okay. Let me move this pipe to this side. MV. Okay, I'm coming. Excuse me. Delete this one. bring this one here. Okay, then take this one, create similar. Then start from this corner here and then bring it here. Okay. Go to 3D angle here. Select these two. Go to here so I can see the two of them. You see, if you look at this one, it's using a proper PVC. If you look at this one, it's not using a PVC. This one too has insulation. So let me remove the insulation from this one too. Remove the insulation. Okay, yes. So if you look at this pipe, it's a standard pipe with a normal bend, which is not a PVC. This one here is a PVC showing a PVC what? A PVC bend. If you are producing a drawing, and I have these two drawings here, this one rather shows me a proper PVC pipe. Even if the person is a lay person, if I show this drawing to the person, this person will know that this is a PVC pipe. If I produce this drawing to another person, it's a normal bend. This one is not a PVC pipe. So when I'm working and I'm producing the details, this one, I don't know how I should say this thing. You see, it gives me a realistic representation of what I want to do. With the PVC pipe, I can easily add a T, say create similar, and I come in here, add a T here. As soon as I add a T, it will put in the proper PVC T. If I come in here and I select this one, create similar, add a similar, then I start from the middle here and then draw this one. This one to give me a different bend. And if you look at this bend here, and then this T here, and then this T here, you realize that they are not what? The same. So if I am producing drawings and I know I'm using PVC, and Revit will give you the opportunity to produce PVC pipe like this one, why should I do this one? That's the point I want to make. So you have to be very conscious. You have to be very deliberate. You have to be very intentional as to what you want to do. And that is where this type properties comes in. So if you come in here and then I select the standard one and I go to edit type, there is a tool here called routing preferences, pipe fittings, segment and fittings, routing preferences for a standard pipe. If I go to edit type, there are copper A pipe. The pipe is a copper A pipe. The elbow is generic standard. Preferred junction type is T. Junction is T, generic standard. The cross is generic standard. Transition is generic standard. Coupling is generic standard. If I go in and then I select the PVC on this PVC pipe and then edit type here, edit type, and then I go to the routing preferences, you see that it is telling me that I'm using polyvinyl chloride rigid schedule. The bend is, the elbow is PVC schedule 40. The preferred junction type is T. If I don't want T and I want to use tap, I can use tap. The junction is sanitary T, PVC schedule 40. I can open it up a bit. If you go to the cross, there is none. If you go to the transition, there is a reducer. So now, when I come in here, because I'm using PVC, and I select this pipe, and this pipe, the size is 150. If I create similar here, and then I choose a different size, not 150, let's say I choose 100 mm on the PVC, and I come and connect here to it, and then draw my pipe. As soon as I draw the pipe, Revit will automatically add the proper transition element fixture to it. If I come to this pipe here, right click, create similar here, and then I draw from here to there. Let me check the same height. I want it to have the same height. I'm coming. so that I don't want to bend it. If I look at this pipe here, the elevation is about 1097. Let me make a copy. I want to copy it, okay. I want to maintain the same elevation. Control C. And then I'll create a pipe here. Select this pipe here. Create similar. Create similar. And then the elevation, I'll come and paste it. The same thing, okay. So I'll start from here. This one here. I'll start from here and then draw my pipe. But this time around, I want to change the size to, let's say, 100 mm. Let's say 100. This one is covering it. The size to 100 mm. And when I change it, then I click here and then draw. See here. It also adds its own transition. Now, if you look at the transition for the two of them, this one is giving me a different transition here, standard pipe. See the transition type is this type, just a simple one. If I come to this here, the transition here is a proper PVC pipe. So now, when I'm producing plumbing drawings, and I know I'm going to use a PVC pipe for my work, I cannot go and show the artisan to use this kind of drawing. I need to be able to properly depict the drawing as such. And to be able to do that, we use the type properties, edit type, and we can control the behavior of this pipe, of our conduits, of our cable trays, of our ducts, of our anything. Any question? Any question?
No question.
Good. If there is no question, it's a good point to stop. We are meeting tomorrow. When we meet tomorrow, we will go over editing type. Today, I think we did a lot of construction excursion. It was necessary we did it all right, okay? So tomorrow, we will focus and then tackle other architectural elements and see how best we can work with them. If you have any question or any issue for me to address, let me address them before we close. If there's no question or issue, then it's a good point to close. I am done for the day. Yeah. Yeah. Settle. Mr. Richmond.
Yeah, for now, no.
Okay. Actor Franklin, any final comments for what we discussed today?
No, I think on the lessons, I think that's fine. That's fine. I'm okay.
Okay. Mr. Godwin.
Yeah, I'm fine.
You are fine.
Yeah.
Pagovi.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay, thank you very much. One thing I want to suggest is, please, I beg all of you, Revit is a very good tool for any building industry professional. Your understanding of your trade, please, I repeat, your in-depth understanding of your trade will determine how well you can use a Revit as a tool. Let me assume that Revit is a 16-year car. You can decide to go all the 16 years. You can also decide to use the first 4 years. Most people are still in first year and they are okay with it. The decision and the choice is yours. You do not know when the next good project will be coming to your desk. You do not know when the next good client will be calling you for a project, and then the kind of project the client will be calling you for. I want to give you the assurance that with proper understanding of Revit, you can deliver excellently on any level of project, architecturally, structurally, mechanically, electrically, plumbically, anything. So let us have an open mind whilst we pursue this course. And please take note, this is just an introduction to Revit. A good point to close. Have a nice day, sirs.
Thank you, sir.
You are welcome.
Thank you, sir.
You are welcome.
Nice evening.
Thank you, sir. You are welcome. Bye-bye.
All right.